elect somebody who comes from the real world, who's got real world experience, particularly in this economy, somebody who has created literally hundreds of jobs, and somebody who isn't going to fit in necessarily with the Republican establishment right now in Washington. You know, we got our majority in '94, and that majority kind of went to a lot of people's heads. And it created some career politicians. It created some people in Washington who cared more about power and position than actually doing something good. People were there to be somebody instead of there to do something. And unfortunately, there's still a lot of Republicans in Washington, a lot of Democrats too, in Washington that fall in that category. But Keith Simeon's not one of those guys. He's not one of these guys that are going to drink the Kool-Aid. He's not one of these guys that needs the job. He's got a good job now. But he's going up there to serve. He wants to go up there to make our communities, our Commonwealth, and our country a better place. And important to Amy and I, in particular with Keith, is that he's a good person, and he knows the difference between right and wrong. And not the kind of right and wrong that you hear politicians rationalize about all the time, but the kind of very fundamental and simple right and wrong that we teach our kids. The not complicated right and wrong. If you don't know what I mean by that, turn on C-SPAN and you'll figure it out pretty quick. But Keith Simeon's a good man. He's a good person, and from a personal standpoint, he stood by me when I was at the highest peaks and when I was at the lowest valleys. And that means a lot, and that tells you about the character of this guy. So anyway, I hope you'll welcome Keith Simeon.
I've told audiences this of late. I never heard this term. Many of you have probably heard me say it since I started recently. But I heard when I ran last time that politics is Hollywood or the ugly. And when you stop and think about that for a moment, it's funny. The truth is, a lot of these people that we have in elective office that did not make it in life, in the industry or technology or athletics or entertainment, that have to have their name in lights. The only place they can go to do that is politics. And I'm not saying all are like this at all, but I'm simply saying that when you look at what the people in office do and have done to keep themselves there, it is unconscionable. Because right now what this nation faces is a serious situation that offers our kids a future less certain than any generation in our history. Because these people in office are not just spending our money, today's money. They're not even spending our kids' money. They're spending our grandkids' money who are not yet even born. There's no possible way to pay down this debt except 40 or 50 years out. It is